Okay, join me on page 204. Our genre for this one is nonfiction textbooks. Present facts and ideas about nonfiction topics. This would be like our social studies book and our science book. Text features. Textbook segments often feature changes in print, such as keywords in color and bold-faced or italicized type. And we see that too, where we see different vocabulary words highlighted in our science book, for example. Has headings and subheadings. We've talked about that. We see those in our science and social studies books as well. And those help to organize the information. And you see pictures with captions and labels provided to provide more information for those photos, or sometimes they'll use graphs or charts with a caption to better explain the information on the page. All right, you should be on page 204. If you're not, pause the video and go there now and follow along.
Empire in the Andes. Once a great empire grew in the Andes Mountains of South America. This civilization took its name from its ruler, the Inca. The empire stretched from what is today Ecuador to central Chile. Like the Aztec, the Inca worshipped the sun, depended on maize, and organized a strong army.
Okay, continuing on page 205, again you see these text features of these subheadings: from village to empire, sweat of the sun, the Inca capital. You see some pictures and some quotes with captions. All text features of nonfiction text. All right, follow along on page 205.
From village to empire. The Inca Empire began around 1200 in Cusco, a small village in a fertile mountain valley in what is today Peru. A drought reduced their farmland, so the Inca took over their neighbor's land. During the 1300s, the Inca ruled most of the valley. In 1438, a ruler called Pachacuti, Inca extended the Inca borders west to the Pacific Ocean and south to Lake Titicaca, high in the central Andes. Sweat of the sun. The Inca worked rich gold mines. They called the metal sweat of the sun and used it to decorate temples to their sun god. The sun god's temple in Cusco had a huge sculpture of him decorated with precious stones. There was even a golden garden with flowers and birds made of gold, the Inca capital. Cusco served as the center of government, religion, and trade. The temples and government buildings at the center of Cusco were constructed of stone blocks. These blocks still fit together so well that it is impossible to put a knife between them. They can also withstand earthquakes. Beyond the main plaza were the palaces of the emperor and wealthy nobles. The nobles wore special headbands and earrings. One of the Spanish soldiers who visited the city was impressed by Inca wealth and skill. He wrote the following description in the 1500s. The interior of the Temple of the Sun was a mine of gold. On the western wall was the sun god, engraved on a massive plate of gold of enormous size, thickly powdered with emeralds and special stones. The morning sun fell directly upon it at its rising, lighting up the whole apartment.
Okay, and our caption down here for the picture.
The ruins of Machu Picchu, an ancient city of the Inca Empire, high in the Andes.
Okay, continuing. Again, we have a picture with a caption. We'll start here.
Peruvian quipu for counting and recording facts and events of Inca workmanship.
Okay. Again, we see these different text features. We have these subheadings. All right, follow along. Again, we're on page 206.
A lost city. The Inca built a vast network of highways over 19,000 miles in length. One road climbed into the Andes and ended at the city called Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu. This town was forgotten until an American explorer named Hiram Bingham came across it in 1911. No one is sure why Machu Picchu was built or why it was abandoned. Machu Picchu is just one of many Inca mysteries. Although Spanish conquerors destroyed many Inca treasures in the 1500s, those remaining can give us a sense of the brilliant culture created by the children of the sun. Technology. Speaking with thread. The Inca used a special cord called a quipu. Quipu. A quipu was about 2 feet long and had many threads of different colors hanging from it. For example, white thread stood for silver, yellow stood for gold, and red stood for war. By tying knots in the strings in a particular order, the Inca could send messages and keep records of battles, items traded, and births and deaths in a village. Putting it together. Inca farmers began terracing and using fertilizer to increase the crops their land produced. In addition to many roads, Inca engineers built large aqueducts. The Inca Empire controlled much of western South America until it was conquered by the Spanish in 1532. However, the Inca legacy remains. Millions of people still speak the Inca language, and many of the songs and poems of the Inca are still recited today.
Okay, on to page 207, and we have some pictures with some captions. Let's go ahead and listen and follow along.
The Inca built terraces on hillsides to hold rainwater for crops.
Here you see those terraces, which is a vocabulary word we learned last week in social studies.
A stone wall, right, from Machu Picchu.
This is, again, a stone wall from Machu Picchu. All right, thanks for following along, and I'll see you on the next video.